So let's do it. Let's unpack the potential. This is about AI and its impact on benefits brokerage industry. We just got through the sentiment toward AI. I want to talk about why we're here. I think that one of the things that we have seen at Nava is the opportunity for technology to really transform how we do this work of delivering great benefits, advice, great benefit service to the industry. And this new platform technology of AI, and specifically within AI, generative AI, is a massive platform shift, a big opportunity that I think it's important for the industry to really understand and utilize. And I've been on a bit of a roadshow around the country, listening to and talking to benefits producers and service folks. This is one of the biggest questions that they ask, is just like, what's the impact? How is this going to affect me? How do I get in front of it? How do I ride the wave versus get caught by the wave? And so we really want to unpack those types of questions for this group. And success for Kareem and I is everyone who's on this webinar walks away with a deeper understanding of the actual underlying technology itself, a better understanding of the application towards service-driven industries like benefits brokerage, and then more specifically, what can we each do as benefits professionals to really be in front of this, be a leader versus a follower as this platform shift, I think makes its way into our industry. What are the big opportunities in benefits brokerage? Where are we going to see this play out? There's really four things that we're sort of seeing right now that aren't hypothetical. I think they're sort of in motion and maybe earlier stages. First is really the opportunity to automate what we think about as like tedious manual work that is happening on the back end, that is gobbling up tons of client success managers' time and producers' time, moving data from X format to Y format, et cetera, and enabling service teams to use that time differently and more effectively. And second big one is really around how do you personalize benefit support for employees and their families? And, as Kareem, you had talked about sort of the power of large language models is the ability to go research a large corpus of data, provide good answers, take additional data, refine those answers. We think that's a really exciting application for answering benefits questions that employees have, throughout the day, and quickly and accurately. A third area that we're seeing early but exciting opportunities is taking the consulting work that we're doing when we are providing strategy recommendations for HR teams around how to think about plan design mix, or how to think about alternatives to your core carrier. How do you think about contributions, and augmenting that using technology and AI to provide support for our consultants to get better answers to our clients as to their sort of more strategic benefits questions. And then the last one is just supercharging the sales side of the organization. How do you supercharge producers, giving them tools to do more personalized outreach, automating some of the follow-up, bringing more data to the table when it comes to actually going through the prospecting and sales process, bringing on new clients. As I've gotten into benefits brokerage deeply, I am just blown away at how much time we as consultants and service team members are spending literally trying to translate information from a Delta Dental insurance quote to a structured spreadsheet back into a submission form into an HRAS census upload. And one of the things that we're seeing here, this is an area inside of Nava that we've really spent a lot of time on, is that how can we use LLMs to automate that sort of data extraction, structuring, and presentation? And the results are really incredible right now. We've got this slide up here I just pulled from a recent town hall that we did from the data science team, that we're seeing extraction rates. So we're taking plan designs and quotes from PDF quotes that are being delivered by Guardian life insurance, or Delta Dental Health, or a Blue Cross medical quote, and structuring that information so that our client success team can actually use that in their day-to-day. We're at 90+% accuracy right now. We're seeing that accuracy tick up closer to 99% with a little bit of tuning and more training around that specific document type. And I think that the implications of this are, if you didn't have to spend 2 hours doing quote extraction and uploading, how would you spend that 2 hours? Yeah. You'd probably spend that 2 hours in a couple of really interesting ways. You'd spend it being more proactive with your clients, maybe thinking a bit more about strategy, maybe working on the relationship, maybe looking around the corner and actually analyzing some data around, an alternative benefit that they might look at, et cetera, which is, at least for the service professionals that I talk to and, folks on this call, I think that's why they get into the industry. That's what we want to do. We want to go be strategic advisors, operate at the top of our license. This is a look at an internal product that we have that's really about how do we provide medical renewal quotes for our service team more quickly than the good old fashioned manual, like get the PDF quote export, start typing it into a spreadsheet, have someone peer review that spreadsheet because inevitably someone made a mistake, and then, and then manually do that for literally every scenario or every alternative you want to look at. This has been an incredible application for sort of taking that manual workflow that we literally, our service teams have to do for every single client that we serve across every single potential line of coverage that we're evaluating and every additional option that you want to evaluate against. It just gets massively complex. Our internal research was showing it was taking our client success team about 8 business hours to do one medical renewal spreading quoting analysis. On the left is what it was taking our service team sort of in the technology LLM model, took about 8 hours to run one. Then we started to augment workbook and using some technology to automate some of the components. So we got it down to 3 hours. And now using what we call Roam, the renewal optimization engine, it's an internal technology platform that is really reliant on LLMs for doing the quote extraction, analysis, and matching, down to 30 minutes in Q2. And we think it'll be down to 15 minutes in Q3 for all medical renewals. So 8 hours to 15 minutes. That is an absolutely insane efficiency gain. It's like 97.3%. What I really care about is how do you enable great consultants and service professionals to do what they love to do, which is really guide their clients through the journey of making business decisions around their benefits and whatnot. Quoting and spreading renewal medical quotes is not what they love to do. And so being able to take that work item off their plate effectively, taking it from 8 hours to 15 minutes, and then enabling all kinds of cool stuff, like really quickly run different scenarios, really quickly running contribution modeling, et cetera, is a massive lift for them to be able to go deliver more value for their clients, serve more clients better, get time back in the day, and kind of and moving away from what we think about as that rote sort of back office work. One other implication of this is we hear all the time from HR teams and from CS folks that it's oftentimes one of the biggest pain points is it just takes too long to get this done. And so you're stuck kind of right at the bell trying to make decisions, about your renewal, but you've got no time to do it. So the opportunity of pulling this forward and being able to turn things around in minutes as opposed to, business days allows us to just make better decisions earlier in the process. I want to touch on one more before we dive into maybe Q&A and calls to action, but just about delighting the member. I think this is one of, to me, the most viscerally sort of easy to understand scenarios, which is just how do you answer our employees and their families' benefits questions? One of the reason that I got into benefits with Nava is healthcare is so hard for people to understand and utilize, and they're confronted by roadblocks and complexity to every step of the way. So how do we remove that complexity in the member journey? And what I thought I'd do is I'll actually, instead of telling, I'll just show you an example of what we're doing at Nava. Around the member experience. I just popped into the Nava Benefits app, and this is foundational to Nava's value proposition. This is a core part of what we deliver for all of our clients. And you can see in the app, we've got this is all my health insurance information, my benefits information. We use this at Nava. These are my medical ID cards, dental, vision. I can look at information about my, if I want to just double click into, medical, I've got my cards, I've got my wife's card, et cetera. If I want to look at, finding a doctor, primary care, it's all there. So we got it. So the app itself has a bunch of context about my health insurance and my benefits and whatnot. And so one of the things that we, when you tap into Nava AI, let's actually give this a spin. So the framing here is we believe that large language models can be very effective at answering questions for employees and their family members about their benefits 24/7, 365 days a week. So why don't we just give this a try? One of the recent questions my wife actually had is how much, it's about glasses. So how much do glasses
cost with my vision insurance. Just give that a go. And so I'll kind of talk you through what's happening. So right now, the AI is actually reviewing and reading all of the SBCs and plan documents related to, in this case, my Aetna vision insurance. It's formulating an answer to that question and going to give me an answer. So here's a summary of your cost or glances with my insurance. So it's going to give me with frames, if I'm in network, $0 copay, $100 allowance for frames, and then I get a 20% discount on anything above that $100. It actually even went above that, said, hey, if you want lenses, here's some information, and give you some more. And then it gives me a little bit of a summary. So it's a bit of context, which we love, which is, hey, actually, here's an example. So if you bought frames that were $150 from an in-network provider, you're not going to pay anything for the first 100, and then you're going to get for the 20% off the remaining $50, which makes your out-of-pocket cost for those frames about $10. So it gives me the data, summarizes the data, but then also gives me kind of an in context, like, for example, which we have found is hugely important for folks to actually understand this stuff, is not just read out the SBC, but give me an example. I deeply believe that we are at the cusp of just an absolutely massive wave for our industry. It's a really exciting one. And so I would encourage folks that are on this call to take some action after this call. I think there's a couple of ideas for you all as you think about it. I think follow thought leaders in the space. I think the field is moving really quickly. There's an opportunity to learn quickly and separate yourselves from the professionals that don't, by tuning in to, whether it's, voices. We're going to spend a lot of time talking about it, but there's a lot of folks here that are really kind of looking around the corner and asking questions. How do we apply this? I think we've got a couple of folks that have already mentioned in the chat that they're starting to actually just utilize this in their day-to-day. Great examples of using a chat GPT are, having it play editor on emails or documents that you're writing. Have it be your research assistant for specific questions that you're trying to get quick answers to. Hey, gather a list of options for this specific type of ancillary benefit for me, and kind of what's knowable about reviews online. Those kinds of things are really great test cases using GPT or Gemini or others there. And then last but not least, I think this is, for me, something that I believe deeply in, which is, I think we're all going to sort of evolve the benefits brokerage industry if we work together on this. So if you're a professional, you work for, a big traditional firm, et cetera, apply pressure on your leaders. Ask the question, hey, how are we as an organization applying this set of technologies inside of our organization? What's our roadmap? Like, what are we thinking about? And provide your sort of input there. I think that's how we move the industry forward together. And this is something that I believe in, and I've seen this play out, which is, the industry moves forward when smart folks like those that are on this call start to apply pressure, start to learn, kind of take action there. I'll leave you all with just one last sort of call to action. If you've got additional questions on this, is something that we're spending a lot of time on. If you want a deeper look at AI and benefits brokerage, you can reach out to me directly at brandon@navabenefits.com, and we'll give you sort of a deeper look under the covers there. And really encourage all of you, if you're curious, sort of take those steps. And I think this is a conversation that we're going to be continuing over the coming months and years, because this is such a foundational wave that we all need to be in on. So, Kareem, thank you so much for joining. Really fun to be with you, and really appreciate your thoughts. And thank you all